There was a writer once who said, knowledge is strong. His name was Francis Bacon. You stop and think about that for a few moments, about knowledge is strong. And you look at your own personal lives. You've all gone through school, high school, college, some graduate school. Look where you have ended up because of the knowledge you have obtained over these many years. A few weeks ago, I was able to watch a show that's been on television for God knows how long, Jeopardy. I mean, I can remember it as a kid. Anyhow, but I watched this one program, and there were three people, as there always are. There were two men and one woman. And of course, there was one man there who must have been on for several days, because I could tell by the amount of money he had already stacked up. But as I listened and I watched this show, these people had answers to subjects I would never think of, but they had the answers. And that kind of made them strong because of what they were gaining. When they finished, they had a few more bucks in their pocket than when they came because of their knowledge. I think back to a time years ago. We would finish supper and we all gather in the rec room and we watch Jeopardy. And the other friars there would holler out the answers before the person who was supposed to answered it. They quickly hollered out. Many times, of course, they were wrong. But there were many right answers, too. And I'm sure if you still watch it today, you probably do it as a family. You probably try to answer it yourself and answer these things. That's all part of knowledge. It makes you stronger. Well, let's take that over a step and take a look at our own faith, our own knowledge of our own religion. Not necessarily dotting the I's and crossing the T's. That's not what's important. It's knowing about our relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what's important. But how do we come and know that relationship unless we reflect upon this Christ, unless we open the scriptures and read them and see what they're about and see how Christ lived his life, see the struggles he went through. You don't have to just look at the life of Christ. You go to any bookstore, our bookstore here or any place, you go and look at Henry Nouwen's books, Thomas Merton, and the list can go on, of people who have written about their own personal lives and the struggles that they have gone through in order to be closer to Christ in their life. They're powerful books. Powerful things are being said. I'll give you an example. Thank you. He didn't steal it. All right. Powerful things are being said. I'm reading this book called Abandonment to Divine Providence. And I came across this. Something to jump off the page at you. You ever do that when you're reading something, you have to stop and really think about it? Well, this is a book like that. I just want to read you a couple things here because they're powerful, I think. The author says, the will of God is the essential and real element and power in all things. In all things. It's God. It is the will of God that adjusts and adapts them to us. Without it, all is nothingness, emptiness, lies, and vanity, and mere letter without the spirit, the empty husk and death. The will of God is the salvation, health, and life of the body and soul, no matter what the external appearance of the thing to which it is applied. And that's us. And you know, when you go through, when you come across something like this, there's a little thing that I kind of use, if I can get it. It's this thing. The highlighter, yes. I do it because I go back and reflect upon these things. My Lord, there's a lot of other people out there who have greater thoughts than myself. And they challenge us to stop and think and reflect about, what about my life as a Christian? What am I doing? Do I know Jesus? I think I do. We hear him say, take my yoke upon you. Well, you stop and think what a yoke is. If you know farmers, then you're going to know what it is. They have animals, like two animals, and they put this, like a wooden thing around their neck, and they go together. That's a yoke. Well, that's what Jesus is saying. He wants to walk with every one of us. And that's how we discover him more and more. There's got to be a yearning within us. I want to know my Christ better. Well, he's there. He's willing to walk with us. That's where the burden becomes light. Because we know Christ is walking with us, is giving us the support we need through all the difficulties, the good times, the bad times, whatever in our lives. And we all go through that. And we don't have to run away. Christ is with us. Too often we forget that. I know I've forgotten it at times. And then there's instances that take place. You look at Francis of Assisi. Perfect life, you want to read a great life. His is unbelievable. But he was riding, and you've probably heard this story before. He was riding down the road on a horse. This is before he totally was converted. And here was this stranger sitting there and standing there who was a leopard. He rode past him, and then he stopped. Something hit him in his head. He got off his horse and he walked back. He gave the leopard some money. And he was ready to go, and suddenly it hit him. He embraced this leopard. People wouldn't do that in those days because they would have gotten leprosy themselves, supposedly. And so he walked back, got on his horse, he turned around to say goodbye to him. He wasn't there. He was gone. That was Christ who was there, in the form of a leopard. Stop and think of the people who have come into your life, and suddenly have disappeared. Just gone. Could that have been Christ trying to speak to you or to me? It's happened. I remember once right over here at CBS. I got out of my car to get my medicine or whatever I was going in there for. And here was this old man. He had his bicycle there. And I stopped and talked to him, and he wanted some money. I gave him money and so forth, and where he was going and so forth. So I walked down and walked to the doors, and I turned around to say goodbye to him. He was gone. Gone. I looked all around. He might have got around the side of the building. I didn't see him. He was gone. I said, oh my God. Was that Christ? It could have been. I'm not saying it was. But look at the people in your life. The way we touch one another is very important. And our closeness and our relationship with Jesus Christ is enormously important. Because when we touch and reach out to another brother or sister, I don't care who they may be, we are the Christ to that person. We were the ones who have been baptized into Jesus. So Jesus is with us. And when we embrace another, Christ is embracing that person too. So it's something for us to think about during the long, hot summer days. Take some time. Pick up a spiritual book, something that will give you an interest. Read the life of Thomas or St. Thomas of Aquinas or Francis of Assisi or St. Bonaventure or Henry Newman, as I said, or some of these other people. Read their life. Look at the struggles they went through. And yet they were faith-bound. And that's what we have to be, for you as well as myself. It's there. The struggle is there. But Christ is with you. Never forget that. He walks with you. So, yes, have that yoke. Have that closeness with Christ. And that's a challenge every single day for us. But God gives you the grace to meet that challenge. Good luck with it.